If you've been shopping for a magnetic keyboard lately, you've probably seen Hall effect everywhere. It's the buzzword, it's the spec sheet flex, it's the thing every brand wants to plaster on the box. But now, there's a newer term popping up fast. TMR, which stands for Tunneling Magnetoresistance. Here's the simplified version of what that means. Both Hall effect and TMR keyboards use magnets to measure how far a key is pressed. The difference is how they sense that movement. Hall effect sensors detect magnetic changes as a voltage-based signal, while TMR sensors detect magnetic changes through a change in electrical resistance. That shift in sensor tech can make TMR keyboards more sensitive to tiny magnetic changes, allowing for cleaner rapid trigger behavior and more consistent analog detection at very small movements. TMR can also be more power efficient, which matters if a company is trying to run high polling over 2.4 GHz wireless without destroying battery life. But here's the catch. TMR isn't automatically better. On real keyboards, firmware, calibration, switch design, and software tuning matter way more than whatever sensor name is on the spec sheet. So today we're breaking down the best TMR keyboards you can actually buy right now. The ones that really deliver the advantage over Hall effect, performance, rock-solid wireless stability, and a typing feel you'll want to use every day. All the products we've mentioned are linked in the description below. Let's get started. If you want the most balanced one keyboard that does everything in the magnetic space, the Keychron Q1HE is the easiest overall recommendation, especially if you want gaming features without giving up the daily driver experience. And yes, despite the name, this board is TMR based. Keychron kept HE in the branding because Hall effect was the more familiar label when magnetic keyboards first started gaining traction. So rest assured, the Q1 and Keychron's current magnetic lineup use dedicated TMR sensors for input detection. The Q1 is a compact 81 key, 75% layout with a volume knob, and it plays nicely with both Windows and Mac OS thanks to the built-in OS toggle. The machined aluminum chassis gives it that dense, premium stability, while the double gasket design with internal acoustic foam helps isolate vibrations, soften sounds, and reduce case ping. So the board sounds more controlled and less hollow or rattly, making it one of the better sounding options on the market if you prefer a quieter, gasket-mounted sound profile. Even the slightly dished keycaps help with accuracy once you settle into the layout. On the magnetic side, it delivers what people actually buy these boards for: variable actuation and deeper per-key tuning. You can set sensitivity key by key and even assign different actions based on press depth, like a light press to walk and a deeper press to sprint. It's hot swappable too, but the trade-off is ecosystem flexibility. Keychron limits compatibility to Gateron double-rail magnetic switches, which are excellent stock switches, smooth, stable, and well-suited to the board, but that still means it's not the same open playground as a standard MX hot swap keyboard. For most buyers, that's less a switch quality problem and more a reduced tinkering freedom trade-off. Connectivity is also a strong point with USB-C, Bluetooth, and 2.4 GHz wireless, and Keychron rates it at 100 plus hours of battery life with RGB off. The lighting looks great, but there are no shine-through legends, so it's more glow around the caps than lit letters. And quick note, Keychron does have wired-only 8KHE variants, and they're great if you're chasing pure cable performance, but for a best overall pick, we're prioritizing the board that works across more real setups, including wireless, without feeling like a niche desk-only keyboard. Back to the Q1HE, the shortcomings are practical. It's expensive, there are no flip-out feet or kickstand for a steeper angle, there's no USB dongle storage, and no included wrist rest. Still, if you want one magnetic board that feels premium, types great, and still gives you all you would expect from a magnetic TMR keyboard, the Q1HE is our best overall pick. If your main priority is pure competitive performance, especially in games where rapid trigger timing and super fast resets literally change how you play, the Cherry MX 8.2 Pro TMR wireless is about as sweaty tryhard as it gets in the best possible way. It's a tankuless flagship built around Cherry's magnetic crystal switches with TMR sensing, designed to give you the speed and control of a high-end magnetic board, but with ultra-fast wireless that actually keeps up in ranked lobbies. The The big gaming feature here is 8000 Hz polling in both wired and 2.4 GHz wireless, meaning it can report inputs up to 8 times per millisecond instead of once on a standard 1000 Hz board. In practice though, most people won't notice much of a difference unless you're a high-level competitive player with a powerful PC and high refresh rate monitor. To make 8000 Hz wireless work, Cherry uses a dedicated external receiver box instead of a small dongle. It looks a bit clunky, but it helps maintain a cleaner, more stable signal during intense gameplay. Where it really separates itself for competitive players is in how deeply you can tune it. TMR sensing can detect input changes down to 0.01 millimeters, and through Cherry's MagCrate software, you can set per key actuation, dead zones, and rapid trigger behavior exactly how you like it. Need ultralight hair trigger movement keys for Valorant or CS. Drop the actuation point and let rapid trigger reset the moment you start to lift your finger, so AD spam and micro adjustments feel almost instantaneous. On top of that, it's hot swappable between Cherry's magnetic switches and standard MX mechanicals on most keys, so you can run ultralight magnetic movement keys for ranked play and still tune the rest of the board for whatever typing feel you like. And of course, you get full per key RGB to match whatever gaming setup you're running. Features like dynamic key travel and snap key push that even further. With dynamic key travel, you can set multiple trigger points on a single key, so a light press and a deep press can do completely different things, almost like having 2 or 3 keys in one. Snap key is all about movement. When you swap from A to D or vice versa, it always prioritizes your latest input instead of letting opposite directions cancel each other out. So your strafes and counter strafes feel way cleaner and faster than on a traditional mechanical board. It's pricey, the software takes some learning, and the receiver isn't exactly minimalist. But if you care more about shaving milliseconds off your movement than having a super clean desk, the Cherry MX 8.2 Pro TMR wireless is one of the strongest high-end options for serious competitive gaming right now. Next up, we have a keyboard that's made for enthusiast tweakers. Most magnetic boards let you fine-tune actuation and rapid trigger until everything feels perfect. But when it comes to the switches themselves, a lot of them still keep you locked into one ecosystem. You can tweak settings all day, but you don't always get real freedom to experiment. That's where the MonsGeek M1 V5 TMR is different. It's built around end pull-down magnetic switches and supports a wide range of popular third-party magnetic options, 7 to be exact, as well as 3 or 5 pin mechanical switches too. So instead of being stuck with one brand's lineup, you can actually swap switches and build the board the way you want, key by key. For example, you can run lighter, faster switches on the W, A, S, and D keys for super snappy movements, then switch to something heavier and more controlled on shift, control, and space, so you're less likely to fat finger inputs. And for everything else, you can use smooth, balanced switches to create a calm and comfortable typing feel. The whole idea is quick, no solder swapping, then jumping into the software to select the switch model and recalibrate so the board stays accurate after every change. If you want to mod it further, the M1 V5 also supports rapid disassembly. That means you can get into the case much faster than a typical custom board without fighting a maze of hidden screws and clips. You can open it up, access the internals, and actually tune the board. Foam layers, gasket feel, plate stiffness, even the overall sound profile, without it turning into an all-day teardown. And yes, you still get full RGB. The lighting is south-facing, so it looks clean with most custom keycaps, and in the software you can cycle through a bunch of effects, then fine-tune brightness and speed to match your setup. Finally, it's genuinely practical as an everyday main board thanks to tri-mode connectivity, USB-C wired, 2.4 GHz wireless with a blazing fast 8000 Hz polling rate, and Bluetooth for productivity devices. If your goal is a TMR board that blends real enthusiast build vibes, high polling, deep tuning, and one of the most open switch compatibility stories right now, the MonsGeek M1 V5 TMR is easily one of the best customization options out there. Now, when we say budget in the TMR world, just know you're still spending over $100. That's the cost of entry for the sensor tech, even if you're just trying it out. But the Womier SK75 TMR gets as close as it can to that line while still feeling like an absolute unit. This thing is around 2 kilograms, so the moment you put it on your desk, it doesn't slide, it doesn't flex, it just plants itself there like a premium board. Layout-wise, it's a clean 75%, and it's built for performance. ultra low latency, and an 8000 Hz polling rate, which is exactly what you want if you're buying into magnetic boards for fast resets and rapid trigger gameplay. And for the price, the build is the shocker. You're getting an aluminum chassis, chamfered edges, and a mirrored weight on the underside that looks way more expensive than it should. The only catch is the finish. It's slightly more grainy than higher-end aluminum boards, but visually it still hits. Switch-wise, you're getting Womier Void magnetic switches. They're light, fast, and the software gives you the reason you buy magnetic in the first place. Per-key actuation, rapid trigger tuning, and 0.1mm adjustment control. And yes, you can even mix magnetic and mechanical switches with the board supporting a variety of third-party magnetic switches. For a pre-built, the typing experience is solid too. You get double-shot PBT cherry profile keycaps, and the stabilizers come factory lubed and are better than average out of the box. Though if you're picky, a little tuning will still take them up a level. The biggest one is the mounting style. This is a top-mounted board, not a soft gasket mount. That means the typing feel is more stiff and more direct. You don't get that cushy, bouncy flex you see on a lot of enthusiast-style builds. Instead, the plate is held more firmly in place, so the board feels snappier and more locked in, which some gamers actually prefer, but it can sound a bit sharper and louder, and it's not as forgiving for long typing sessions. And yeah, there are a few more practical quirks. The stabilizers are decent, but could be cleaner on bigger keys. Switch pull tolerances can be annoying if keycaps sometimes lift switches, and the power switch placement isn't exactly convenient. But if you want serious gaming performance and a premium-feeling aluminum build at a price that's literally half of most TMR competitors, the SK75 earns its spot as our best budget pick. If even our budget Womier pick is still stretching it, the MonsGeek Fun 60 Ultra TMR is the next stop. This is about as cheap as TMR keyboards get at well under $100, so in the magnetic space, it's genuinely ultra budget. But that price comes with a very real compromise. It's a 60% layout. No function row, no dedicated arrow keys, and no nav cluster. If you're mainly gaming, that's totally fine. You get more mouse room and a clean setup. But if this is your only keyboard for work, editing, or everyday typing, losing those keys can get annoying fast and might end up being a deal breaker. That's why something like the Womier SK75 can be the better budget buy for most people. It costs more, but the extra keys make it way easier to live with. Now, the Fun 60 Ultra still delivers the core reasons you'd buy a magnetic board: adjustable actuation, rapid trigger style tuning, tri-mode connectivity, and RGB. You also get 8000 Hz polling over wired or 2.4 GHz, which is seriously impressive at this price. But the mode switch is a head scratcher. It's hidden under the caps lock key, so you have to pop the keycap off every time you want to switch between wired and wireless. Anyway, this keyboard is made from a quality CNC aluminum case that feels way more premium than you'd expect. Though the tray mount design does tend to be a bit stiffer and less cushioned than gasket-mounted boards, which you'll notice when pressing the keys. It's also flexible on switches, supporting 5-pin mechanical switches and multiple magnetic switch brands as long as they use a downward-facing end-pole magnet. All in all, if you're cool with the 60% layout and want the cheapest solid entry into TMR, the Fun 60 Ultra is absolutely worth a look. So those are our best TMR keyboards you can buy right now, and we hope this video has pushed you in the right direction for which keyboard is right for you. All the keyboards we mentioned are linked in the description with the latest pricing. If this guide helped, hit the like button and consider subscribing for more honest, no-fluff tech breakdowns. And if you've tried any of these, or there's a TMR board you think we should review next, drop it in the comments. See you in the next one.